What's up, guys? It's Fred from In Our Element Adventures. If you're not familiar with my channel, it's In Our Element Adventures on YouTube. I have here my 2003 Honda Element EX two-wheel drive. A little about myself. I'm in dialysis. I've been in dialysis for just about 8 years. And this is my daily driver. This takes me to and from work. This is our adventure car. I have plenty of hobbies. Camping, hiking. Right now I'm really into fitness. So we built a backyard gym at the house. So that's kind of been my main thing at the moment, is just kind of getting my health back.
That's very good combination, Fred. Show me about your Element exterior modifications and setup.
Okay, so let's start right here. I guess we'll just start from the bottom. Starting with wheels and tires. So we got the Sparco Terras. These are 16 by 7. This is in the bronze. I'm a big fan of the bronze color. And then we got the Wild Peak AT3s. This is a 235/70/16. So this is a lot larger than the original size for the Element. I am running 32 millimeter wheel spacer. Along with the Aerogenics, I got a 1-inch and I got a 2-inch in the back. I'm also running a 1-inch engine drop kit. One important part is I do have OEM axles, which is very important for the lift. I learned my lesson the hard way, but OEM or bust. What we have here, we have the hood rack from Rob Deasy. If you're not familiar with Rob Deasy, he has Instagram, pnw.deasy. So I got his hood rack, and I have a Goal Zero Boulder 30 solar panel mounted to it. So I also have the Aerogenics ditch mount brackets with aux beam 3-inch by 3-inch ditch lights. And I also have aux beam 3x3-inch square lights. And this is using Rob Deasy's fog light brackets. And then I added the amber, kind of like an amber lens, which is nice. This can be, I purchased this off of Amazon, and they have many colors. I've seen purple. I have the amber, and I do have a black one, which is just like a black tint, which I put there when I'm not using it.
So you can change the color, like right, according to your necessities.
This is, I think it was less than $10 on Amazon. It's kind of nice.
It's pretty cool. If you guys are interested in any of the modifications that Fred's been doing to their car, feel free to comment and I will post the link for it.
Yeah. And then up here we have Rob Deasy's windshield bracket with bar. I included 6 7-inch round LED spotlights. I was sharing with Miguel that I'm an old school guy, and I really like the round lights over the light bars. So that's just personal preference. I'll show you my awning, which does very well, you know, camping out in the desert. There's no trees, nothing, no shade. This awning definitely comes clutch. It's 6 by 6 feet Tepui Tents awning. So with this awning, I actually had to design a bracket that will kind of go along with our e-camper and not interfere with it while it's closing. So I think I researched this for a few years, and I finally found out that we there's a bracket for a Fioma I think is the brand, which they use for the Westphalias. And I just kind of drew something up. I sketched something out on paper, and I took it to a metal shop and just had them kind of, you know, create it, make it into real life, and they were able to make the bracket. But it was up to me to drill through my $7,000 e-camper, and that was kind of scary, but I managed to do it, and the bracket actually works really well. It's been on here for 5 years, and I haven't had any issues. So yeah, that was really scary to do,
but it was worth it, right?
For me, it was worth it. Like,
yeah, it gives more stability to the setup.
And it's, you know, I've always been a fan of the Westfalias. I like the pop top, and you always see an awning, pop top with an awning, and I just
It's like a must-have
right.
item to
So I
have.
added another set of LED lights, which basically brings light to this area right here. So when we're camping, sometimes we're sitting in this area, cooking in this area, it'll just bring us more light, which it's really nice. It's a nice place to have a light.
And is that also the light from Rob DC or?
No, this, you know, I can't remember the brand, but this was just some aftermarket from Amazon. Nothing fancy, but it does the job. I don't need anything too bright.
Pretty cool. And also I see that you have
Yes.
sandbags, right?
Okay, so I have sandbags here, just for those windy, you know, windy days camping. We added these sandbags for weight, just to prevent the awning from flapping around on those windier camping trips. Another nice feature of this awning is this telescoping pole. You can adjust it up or down. You know, based on where the sun is, you can angle the awning in a certain way to get more coverage. So that's nice.
And also you were telling me that you are going to add another awning right in the rear.
Yes, I actually have another awning, and I posted it on my Instagram. You'll just have to kind of scroll through the feed. Let me show you our secondary awning. This is a new awning of ours. It's the Right Line Gear. We purchased this at REI using our REI dividends. It's just a secondary awning for the back. Let me show you guys a little bit about it. So what it is, there's 3 straps that strap to the upper hatch of the Element. One kind of comes across, and then you got 2 that go this way. It can be done neater, but this is just quick. And then it's got the poles for the legs, and then it's got sandbags. So this sand actually came from the beach, but it did come with sandbags, which helps from the poles flapping around. And it does
cool.
come with 3 flexible poles to keep it shaped, 2 that create the X, and then ones that come across.
That's pretty
So
cool.
actually, this is really nice. This is the second time I've set it up. Okay, so let's talk about my full-size spare carrier. This is actually originally a bike rack, a swing-out bike rack. I cannot remember the brand, but I purchased it off a woman on OfferUp. She sold it to me for $100. It's solid. It's really solid. I think it held 4 bikes. So what I actually did was I cut the forks that hold the bikes, and I added a RV style tire mount, which is literally it's just sandwiched on the frame of this. No welds. I had this for a few months now, and it hasn't budged. So this thing is pretty solid. It's got a full-size spare. I recently purchased the same rims, so everything is exactly the same. Now this fold-down table, this was actually a picnic table I purchased off of again REI. There were legs here, so you place it on the ground and you can have a picnic, but we never used it. So I figure I'll flip it backwards and just kind of like create a table space, which works really well. I just got some paracord to just hold it up. It's pretty level, and it just folds in. Added some stickers to personalize it a little bit, but it works really great.
And I've been using this in another videos that you have been posting in your YouTube channel.
Right.
So if you guys want to know more details about anything that he has in his Element, please subscribe to In Our Element Adventures.
Okay, so just a little bit more about my swing out tire carrier. I actually added this locking harness. Originally it was just this screw, which is fine, but just for extra protection I added this. And this actually came with this sort of like a safety pin, and I didn't realize how much I needed until the other day when I guess I had forgotten. I really didn't realize I did not lock the carrier, so I was driving and I can just hear just a rattling in the back, and I was kind of scared. I thought it was suspension related, and I was getting worried. But anyways, once I got home, I parked the car and I looked in the back, and this whole thing was just rattling. This wasn't locked, but the safety pin actually held my car while it was on the road, and I was on the freeway.
Wow.
So that's kind of nice with this model,
Yes.
this specific model bike carrier.
So it has 3 lock mechanisms.
3 locking mechanisms.
That's really
safety,
nice.
though. That safety pin,
Yes.
that's money right there. So
And I see you found a nice place to relocate your license plate to.
yeah, this was I basically just screwed it into the actual frame of it. I didn't want to go too low. I made sure it was above the frame, just in case if I'm ever on the trails or anything like that. I still got this clearance and it won't interfere with my license plate. But yeah, it works. Right now I don't have a light, but I do plan on somehow installing a light at some point. But I had to relocate it just because my original design, I kept the spare tire in the back, and I did get ticketed. So if you plan to do this, you have to make sure that your license plate is visible. That might seem obvious to many, but to me it wasn't. So I got a ticket. Lesson learned.
Good advice. And also explain us a little bit about your ladder and the safety system that you have in the back of your Element.
Okay, so moving on, I have a 2-gallon gas can, a shovel, and these are what we call chase lights. So the gas can actually, I've been able to help plenty of others more than I've ever needed it myself, which for me it's justification enough to keep it. I've seen plenty of folks stuck on the side, no gas. One of the more recent stories was this happened when I got off work. It was around 11:30 p.m. I saw a motorcyclist pushing his bike on the road, and I just happened to ask him if he was out of gas, and he was out of gas. So he was going to push his bike to the next gas station, which wasn't anywhere close. So luckily, I had this, and I gave him some gas to make it to a gas station. He offered to pay, but I mean, this is what it's for. So yeah, that's my justification to have gas mounted to my car, is to help others.
That's pretty nice.
And I have this shovel. This is my camp shovel. This helps me put out my campfires. It's very important to put out your campfires thoroughly. So this is what that's for. So these chase lights, I didn't really think I even needed those, but we were on a trail, Fish Creek in Anza Borrego, really dusty. And it was a trail of about, I think we were like 13 rigs, and I was somewhere in the middle. And I had these on, and the people behind were able to keep up and kind of follow the group just with these lights, because it got really dusty. There was a few of us that had chase lights, so it was easy to stick together. So chase lights, yes.
It must.
So now moving on to our telescope ladder. This is a telescope ladder I got at Home Depot. So this telescope ladder is about 8 feet at its highest, and this is our primary use to access the eCamper. We do have the sunroof to access from the inside, but just through experience, it's been easier just to kind of in and out from the ladder. Okay, so now let's talk about our new. This is our latest mod. This is the new roof rack from Rob Deasy again. This allows us to utilize the whole entire roof. Initially I had it was a universal basket. It was 64 by 48 inches, which was a nice basket. It's a big basket, but there was plenty of space that was not being used. This rack allows me to use pretty much every inch of the roof, which I really love.
And you have one of the most desirable items that a Honda Element owner wants, And that's the pop-up camper, right?
Yeah, so this is the Ursa Minor e-camper. Ursa Minor is a company from Chula Vista, and I think they got a new location in Portland, Oregon. So they make these pop tops for Honda Elements, Jeep Wranglers, and then their newest model is the Ford Transit. Is it Connect? I think it's Connect.
Yes, that's right.
So those are the three vehicles that they make these pop tops for. This is number 475. I won't forget that number. I don't know where they're at now, but I think I'm right in the middle. It was back in 2015. So how it worked was we had to drive out to Chula Vista and we had to drop off the car. I think it took about 1 week for them to install it.
That was pretty fast. 1 week.
I don't know. It felt like a long time for me. I was so excited.
You feel after getting your car with the new e-camper?
I was excited. I was very excited actually. We've been wanting a Westfalia, a VW for such a long time. So the whole pop top scene was it was something big for us. That's what we wanted to be part of. So to finally be able to get a pop top in a car that I've already had was nice.
Sweet. So now let's show your setup up there in the e-camper.
Okay.
So this is the way Fred goes up. The ladder is really stable.
Let me show you guys
yeah.
inside. Okay, so this is the inside. Out there, you can actually you can open up the front to get some horizontal ventilation going on here during those warmer evenings. And right here we have a 3-inch foam, which this can be removed to be washed. And you have these cushions that can be removed for those who want to access the e-camper from the inside. So if I take this panel off, that is actually the interior of the Element. And then we have 2 LED lights for reading, and then you have the one center right up here, and then we just have a whole bunch of patches up here. And you got this mesh, the whole backside is all mesh, so you can enjoy the views. That's the e-camper.
So that was Fred set up for the e-camper.
So now let me show you the window visor that we have. This is the I think it's called the in window visor.
In channel, right?
What is it?
Is that in channel window visors?
Yeah, that's it. The in channel window visor. I really like this because like during my breaks, I like to roll my window down, and a lot of the times the sun is right here, and it's the visor actually blocks the sun during my lunch breaks, but still allows me to crack my window. Those rainy days, you know, you want to crack your window, you still get that protection. So this is such a simple modification, but it's a big deal. This is the AVS in-channel visor.
And I noticed you have a lot of stickers, Fred.
I do have plenty of stickers.
It means you've been in all over USA.
I'm trying, but yeah, I've always been a sticker guy ever since I got my first car, and you know, my parents, they never understood it. They still don't understand it, and I don't expect them to. I'm just a sticker guy. Basically, on this side, I have this landscape decal of the mountains, rainfall, trees, and I added this compass. Basically, just creating a vibe. Not all those who wander are lost. You know, we like to explore, and we like to learn new things, and we often get lost. But you know, discovering new things, it's a goal. It's a goal. So what else we got here? This is kind of like Element section, right? So this was our cruise and cook. This was a few months back with Element Society. This is the Element NorCal meetup. I did not attend this, but I was given this decal. Thank you, Brianna. And then this was our Alabama Hills camp out. This was just another one of my buddies designed. He no longer owns his Element, but he's still a buddy of mine. And Element Society decal right there.
Pretty cool. Is the Overland Element stickers the one that you guys do in Alabama Hills?
Yeah, this was our
Yes.
meetup at Alabama Hills. And then this side, I just got a whole bunch of stuff. Like some of these are YouTube channels that I follow. Element Van Life, I follow. Adventure Van Man, I follow. This was Element Van Life's original decal. This is Ray's Double X Element decal. This is another YouTube channel that I follow, Live Work Wander. They're really good at making videos.
Cool.
You should follow them. Overland X, he's got a Wrangler. I think he does have a YouTube channel also. But yeah, these are all either just like decals I really liked, Instagram pages I follow, or YouTube pages I follow.
And you have your own sticker there to
Yeah,
right
I
in the
have my own
corner.
sticker right here. This is our sticker before the lift, so you can see the rear sag, no spare tire, nothing. This is just a clean.
And that is
Adventure
your
Ray.
Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, so this is our YouTube channel in our Element Adventures, in our Instagram, in our Element. Make sure to put the underscore between each word.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And I guess moving on to the back with the decals. Some of these are just places we visited. El Capitan State Beach over there in Santa Barbara. Obviously Joshua Tree. Yosemite, Idlewild, New Mexico.
You travel a lot, Fred.
Zion, Sedona.
You've been in most national parks.
Oh, no, there's still plenty that we haven't visited, but every place we go, I try to get a decal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Onza Borrego, the 395. If you've never driven on the 395, you got to drive on the 395. Just the drive alone is
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
It's amazing. This is the road into Sedona.
Do you have a connection with like Arizona or maybe like Native American people that they do something by hand? Because I see you have decorations.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Like, I've always been into the Southwest. I just love everything about the Southwest. Myself and my fiance, we've always been into the Southwest. Everything about it, we love it. The culture. So a lot of the theme you'll see here, you got some Southwest vibes in here. I've always been into the skull, the horns. This I picked up in Arizona, just a small lantern. It had a cactus in there, but it didn't. But it just to create kind of like a Southwest kind of feel inside. I also have another small in the front. It's just my little touches,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and in the back I have a dream catcher.
So now, after looking at the Dreamcatcher, Fred is going to show us the interior modifications that he's been doing to his Element.
So this is another Dreamcatcher that I just could not let pass. We picked that up in New Mexico.
It's pretty nice.
Which kind of brings me here to our, I don't know what you would call this, our kitchen pantry area. So this is a little slide out organization shelf I made. This kind of allows me to use this. I can slide my cooler out, grab my food, or if I wanted to remove the cooler, this becomes my table to cook. And then here I have my front runner bins, which I use to kind of just organize things. Here we have plates, silverware. This is my cooking stuff. And then here is where I have my awning and sandbag, which is the awning that we had earlier. But let me just show you one thing that I really love. I was telling Miguel that every trip I kind of learn about something that I need or something that I don't need. and kitchen utensils or just eating utensils was a big thing, right? Most of the time we would grab stuff from our own kitchen and put it in a bin, and that's what we use in camping. And oftentimes we would lose things, and then, you know, so I ended up picking this up from Front Runner, and this was like $60, and it has everything you need. And this is designated in my camp box. This will not go in the kitchen. So it's got everything you need to cook, eat. So this is my camping stuff, straight up.
It's pretty cool, and it's for 4 people, right?
4 people.
It's pretty nice. I can tell like you are well
This
organized.
is where we keep our just kitchen stuff, plates, bowls, you know, stove, our fuel.
Is that a jet boil stuff?
Yeah, it's a jet
Those are
boil.
pretty good.
This thing is
Yes,
amazing.
that's amazing. It's worth the money.
Definitely is. Definitely is. And as you can see, I labeled everything, which makes life that much easier. Nothing special, just paper and tape. You know, plates, silverware. I kind of have an idea of what's going on here. I have other Front Runner bins, which I'll set, you know, underneath here. Also has labels. So, yeah.
And that's your stuff over there, the black on the corner.
Yeah, so this is one of our camp stoves. This is just a single burner. I have a double burner, but this is just for like short trips, day
I
trips,
see.
overnighters. I don't need anything special. I picked this up. I think I got it at Big 5. It's just a single burner stove. Show you real quick this little cubby area I created. So we know the Element has the rear side storage. So what I did was I wanted to utilize not only the storage, but able to utilize the top of it as well, like this open area. So what I did was I just cut a piece of plywood that sits flush with my current shelving, and this allows me this extra, what is it, about 6-7 inches of space to use. So when that chair is folded in its position, I get this whole area just to kind of use for anything, whatever fits. And what I did was to make sure everything is secure, I pretty much strapped a lot of these things. So you can see my cooler, it's strapped with paracord. I got carabiners and rope holding down my shelving. So nothing's gonna go flying away.
And everything that you see here, guys, was built by Fred. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm not a carpenter or anything. I have a vision, and I just kind of work with whatever tools I have, pretty much. Yeah,
Very
nothing
cool.
special. So now to the spare tire well area. I've used it. I use it to store basically like recovery gear, tools. But what I was having problem with was the original spare tire cover. If I had bags and everything on here, I would have to take all the bags out in order to access that. So to solve that problem, what I did was, and I'm not done because this is not painted or anything, I just cut open, I got this piece of plywood and I cut this hole, a lid, which will allow me access to everything that's in there. So what I have here is just the NOCO. This is our NOCO basically jumper.
Very handy to have,
Yeah,
right?
this is very handy. This is charge your phone, laptop also.
And especially that you are driving long distance.
Right.
Like,
right. And I got jumper cables too, just in case. If this isn't fully charged, I got this. Right. I have air compressor. Oh yeah, I have. These are like kind of emergency lights, magnetic emergency lights. This thing is super
it's
strong.
pretty cool.
So
Nice.
it's not going. So if I get stuck on the side of the road, this thing flashes. It's strong as heck.
And you can plug it to your battery pack, right?
Yeah, that's what I have in my spare tire. I got some rope. I got a hat.
That space that you built is
But
like
now-
a magician hat. You
Yeah.
just keep removing stuff and stuff. That's pretty cool.
And then this is one of my favorite modifications. This is the tailgate storage. again from my boy Rob Deasy. So what I have here is
Wow, that's pretty cool.
basically first aid kit, a lightweight first aid kit, nothing special. A tire gauge. This is someone gave this to me. This is like a sleeping bag,
Like an emergency
like an
sleeping bag.
emergency sleeping bag.
Pretty cool.
Reflective vest if I get stuck on the road. Gloves. These are lights, hand warmers, and trekking poles. So the reason why I always keep trekking poles is I go on a lot of hikes with my daughter, and sometimes, often wish I had trekking poles for her, and I never, I never have them. They're always at the house. So I have a set. I have a few, but I have a set that I keep here for my daughter, which is nice.
That's pretty cool. And then to install this kit from Robbie, or I'm sorry, from Rob,
Uh-huh.
do you have to do any cutting, or how
You have to
how
cut.
hard it is the process?
It took me a couple hours, but you have to cut a rectangular hole
Mm-hmm.
in your tailgate. Other than that, it's just a matter of bolting everything in.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a pretty good job, and that looks amazing. Pretty cool. And now we are going to move
On the
to
inside.
the inside of the car in the front side.
Moving on to the interior. So this is like my sleeping quarters. Now that my daughter is 7, I know I can't fit up there anymore with the whole family. So I'm here now. So this is kind of like, this isn't set, but right now this is where I keep my Goal Zero Yeti 400. This is where I power my camera batteries. I have RC batteries, cell phone, whatever it is. And this is my storage box / sleeping platform. Let me kind of show you how this deal works. I don't think any of my YouTubers have seen this. I've shared this on Instagram. If you guys seen this before, this is my steering wheel table. This is what I use when I'm on my lunch break from work.
Sweet.
My steering wheel table, which I use during my lunch breaks when I need a break from my coworkers, I'll eat here. You can also extend it out. It's kind of nice. Go ahead, you can show.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can change the angles. Well, it's kind of nice. I could work when I need my laptop. I can put my laptop in here. This little extension is very handy.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that's what I keep. One of the items that I keep in my storage box.
So that's like a sleeping platform. It does multiple functions, right?
Multiple
You can
functions.
storage, you can sleep.
Storage, and I'll show you right now. I'll show you the sleeping setup, the platform setup. So what I do is you just gotta fold this out, and I use the door of the storage as the support.
Nice.
And the Luna Life mattress just fits perfectly.
The bed looks like it's been like built for this car.
That's what I
cool.
feel like. I mean, it's perfect. So if
That's-
you can see, it's perfect. If you look at this angle,
Yes.
it's perfect.
And this is the way it looks all set up, guys. And it's enough space, I will say, for a 6 foot, you think, tall people. And also I see that you have a cargo net in the roof.
Yeah, so this cargo net, I fit plenty of things there: jackets, paper towels. I mean, many of you know when you're on a road trip, nothing is really organized. You just kind of throw things. So the last one we had toilet paper, jackets, blankets, pillows. I mean, this thing held up a lot. I really like that cargo net.
Very cool. And also I see that if you sleep here, you still have half of the size here, like if you want to change clothes or something, and then the
Right.
net so you can grab your stuff really quick.
Right. That's the element for you. It has it's very multifunctional and it has plenty of room. So with this whole setup, with this mattress, I can actually still fold that chair down and be used as a regular seat. So yeah, it's just one of those. There's many different functions to this, and I'm learning something new every single time.
And you were telling me that usually you drive with 3 seats, right?
Yeah.
And that's mostly when you go to trips or also locally?
Yeah, local trip, 3 of us. So we never need the 4th seat.
Sounds good. Now we are moving to the front
Okay.
of the vehicle.
Okay, so the front. So my wiring is not going to be as clean as what's his name?
Oh, the guy in the first episode, Frank. Oh no, I'm sorry, Eric.
My wiring is not going to be as clean as Eric's. Eric, your wiring is like perfect. You see all my wires. Usually, I just feel like I don't ever have enough time to like completely clean things up. But what I have here is these are all my lighting. So this is my chase lights right here. This is my fog lights at the bottom, and this is my ditch lights. This right here, I haven't finished, but this is my my windshield lights.
That's pretty bright, even like it's not nighttime yet. I can see it's pretty bright, and the fog lights.
I have the chase lights on too.
Sweet. Let's go check it out. The chase lights. That's the chase light over there.
This is really nice on those dusty trails and someone's following you.
Yeah,
They
amber
follow the
color,
light.
right? It's always good for those conditions. Very nice, and also when foggy days, you never know.
Okay, so on this side, let's start with this custom cup holder. This I actually won on a Instagram giveaway from the How To Dad on Instagram, and it was nice because he kind of put my little saying. It's drive free, wander often. On the cup holder, which was a nice touch. I really like that part. I love this because it can hold like thicker bottles or glasses. It'll hold those thicker kombucha bottles or those 32-ounce Nalgene bottles. It'll fit perfectly. It's a lot better than what we have here. So this is nice. And then this is a manual, and I don't know what to say about it. I love driving stick shift. It just makes things a lot more funner. I think I'm racing all the time, except in the LA traffic. It's kind of a pain, but I enjoy driving manual. Let's see. My CB setup. So this is my CB radio. I do have a PA system. I have a speaker under the hood, which I kind of just use just for fun. If anyone is stuck on the road, I can get on the PA and ask them if they need help versus just yelling out the window. The CB radio comes in handy when I'm out camping, or if I'm meeting friends at a campsite. They give me we connect through a channel, and the only thing with the CB is I have to be within, I think, 2 to 3 miles. If I'm over 2 to 3 miles, I can't contact anyone that I'm looking to find.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're out in a group, it's nice to communicate through the CB radio versus on your cell phone. So that's been nice.
Especially when there is no signal, right?
Yeah, especially when there's no cell signal.
Now we are moving in the back of the car.
Okay, so this is kind of like our Molly panel setup. This is nothing special. This is not like a custom shape. This was actually I believe it's like a dog kennel divider, which I just basically screwed on to the interior panels and just started attaching these Molly pouches. So basically, I mean, I could just go through each Molly pouch itself. So here I just have like a variety of maps. This one I have just a set of walkie-talkies. If we're hiking, it's always good to be able to communicate if you kind of get lost. And here, I believe I have latex gloves. Yeah, just latex gloves. I have bug spray here. Bug spray. Nothing in here. I had a flashlight in here. I used it. I didn't return it. I have for trekking in the winter. And this is where I have wipes, dude wipes.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first aid kit. I have a couple first aid kits here. We are a clumsy family, so it's nice to have bandages and things like that, ice packs. Here, this is my my CPR divider, in case anyone needs CPR. Especially nowadays, this is just one of those barriers.
Oh, cool.
Giving breaths. I am a CPR instructor, so this is what I do. And I have some doggy bags here. This is pretty much just in memory of my dog. Her name was Akila. She was a boxer. She passed about a year ago, but I just keep that there. That's just, you know,
A reminder.
a reminder. And what else? And I got these LED strips that kind of go around, creates just a nice ambiance at night.
That's pretty cool. I can see by Fred's setup that he is traveling with safety equipment, which is really nice, and it's very important, guys, when you're doing road trips, right, Fred?
Right. Yeah, I mean, for us, we've gone on enough, and we learn from mistakes, whether the mistake was not bringing things. One thing for us is whenever we take a road trip is making sure my daughter has, Motrin, Tylenol. We always make sure we bring a temperature gauge. Things can happen, especially on the road. Sometimes there's no hospitals available right away. So that's always a big thing for us. And I'm sure, for those that travel with family, it is a big thing. So just medicines, bandages, ice packs, stuff like that is very important to us. Being able to have a cooler that can hold cold water, that's important too. But yeah, I was telling Miguel earlier, every trip, we learn about things that we need. We learn about things that we don't need. It's almost similar to, backpacking or mountaineering. You want to keep your pack as light as possible, but you still want to bring the essentials. So this is kind of like our backpack element. So.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And what is the name of your Honda Element?
So I named my element Maya the E. My daughter's name is Maya, and there's a cartoon that she used to watch, which was called Maya the Bee. It was about a bee. So this is Maya the E.
That's pretty cool name.
Yeah.
And also I see that you have a really handy trash can here.
Yeah. So I don't even remember where I picked this up, but it's a Rubbermaid brand trash can, which I just hooked onto these elastic loops. The location is perfect because when I'm on the driver's seat, I can just reach over, flap the lid, and just toss my trash. My daughter sits directly behind it, so when her trash, she could just,
Pretty cool.
It's right in front of her. Kind of limit the mess that's in the element. But there's so much room here for mess that this is so small.
Nice.
I'm always dumping it every other day.
What is your favorite area of the Element?
I don't know if I have a favorite area. My driver's seat is the area that I'm, primarily at. During my lunch breaks, I'm obviously driving, so I kind of like my driver's side area, believe it or not. And then, next would be, it would be a tie between the pop top and my tailgate. But the driver's side to me, the driver's seat is kind of like it's my throne.
Pretty cool. Do you remember any story or memory that you live with your Honda Element?
Oh man, I have plenty. But there's one that it's probably gonna stick with me for a while, just because it was more like it was a little traumatic. So this was our trip. This was our first attempt to Utah, and this is when our axles. We just had the lift, so our axles went out on us. This was we made it from LA to State Line. State Line was when the car started acting funny, and we pulled over, and I think we stayed at Wild Bill's. If you're familiar with going to Vegas, State Line, there's this big hotel with roller coasters, Wild Bill's. So that's where we stayed. So an interesting thing that I learned about this place, I can't remember what actually the name of this town. I know it's State Line, but I think it's like an unincorporated area where there's no auto shops, no taxi services, Uber, Lyft, nothing. So I had no way of like, I was able to get a tow, but I had to get a tow to Vegas, which was another 45 minutes away. I was fortunate enough to have a friend who moved to Vegas, and I reached out to him. This is a high school friend who helped me out as far as transportation. Long story short, we made it to a shop. They said it was my struts, and replaced my struts. And this was a day before. It was either Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was a holiday. So I picked my car up in the evening of like Christmas Eve or something like that. Picked it up, and as soon as I left, they closed. So I picked up my car, they replaced with new struts. Drove back to State Line to get my family, and 10 minutes into our drive, the car started shaking just like it did. So it wasn't the struts. So I called the shop. They were gone. No one picked up the phone. The shop was closed. It was like 7 p.m. I basically drove the car on the emergency lane back from Vegas to State Line, and I didn't know what to do. So the next step was basically to get it towed back to Los Angeles. From State Line to Los Angeles, it was just a little over 200 miles. Fortunately, I had AAA premium, or it had 200 miles tow. So the next day we called AAA to get a tow. We had a challenge trying to find a tow truck that would accommodate a child seat, which eventually we did. It took some time, but we finally did, and we towed the Element from State Line to LA, and it turned out it was actually my axles that went out, and that's when I learned that it was how important OEM axles were, as far as having a lifted Element, or even a stock Element. I feel like the OEM axles are the only way to go. So I ended up shelling out the money for OEM axles a couple years later. Actually, it wasn't right away, because I just got my OEM axles installed a year ago, and life has been great since. We actually made it to Utah November of 2020 with our new axles. So if you have a lift, definitely go with the OEM axles, or else you will have trouble. Just trying to avoid any hassle. Learn from me. Just save your money and get those OEMs. So that's my story, is being towed from State Line to LA. That was not fun. So every time we've gone to Vegas, and every time we pass by State Line, it's just kind of like, it's this feeling that we get, and we don't like it.
Brings you back memories.
Yeah, bad memories.
So,
but it's adventure is adventure. It's not always going to be positive. It was a learning lesson, and it's just part of it, man. That's what I'm learning. So, and that's why the whole being prepared is really important, because you never know what's going to happen. You definitely never know what's going to happen. So
you have to be well prepared
Right.
for the adventures, right?
Right.
Just like his channel, it says In Our Element Adventures.
So, yeah.
And where do you think is going to be your next adventure?
So my next adventure, I think the Pacific Northwest. I've been there with my family growing up when I was a kid. So I think I'd like to take my family to Washington, Oregon. So I think that's the next one. I think that's actually coming soon. So I can visit some of my, Element, PNW Element folks.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, Fred, thank you so much again for showing us your Element. You did a pretty good job. Thank you for sharing everything about this beautiful Element.
No, well, I appreciate you, taking the time to document what I've never been able to document. I don't think I have a walk around of my car, so you're the first, and I appreciate you, doing this. I think the Element Hunter, I think that's kind of like it's going to be cool to kind of watch the different, the diversity in the Element community. As we all know, we are a diverse bunch. We got, campers, tuners, people that just like it stock, and I think this is going to be a fun one to watch. So thank you.
Thank you again, Fred.
All right.